Hello and welcome to Meet the Teachers. My name is Mr. Patel and this is the Year 6 presentation. We'll be giving some information about routines and some of the things we'll be learning in Year 6 this year.
So first of all, we're just going to have a look at the Year 6 team and some of the staff that will be working with your child throughout this year. So we've got Mr. Patel, who's just spoken, myself, Mrs Hartles. We've also got Mrs Buller, who's currently on maternity leave, but she will be back at some point throughout this year. We've got Mrs Kavanagh, who supports in class, as well as taking children out to do interventions, one-to-ones, to support their learning further. Mrs Hall also works with us in Year 6, as well as Mrs Lovell. And this is the entrance to Year 6 on the Key Stage 2 yard.
And just for your information, so you can see the two classrooms there, Class 6P on the left and Class 6H on the right. They're both next door to each other.
Okay, just so you are aware, our PE days in Year 6 this year are on a Wednesday and a Thursday afternoon. Children are invited to come in their PE kits again on both of those days. And we'll talk about the PE kit further on in the slides.
So in Year 6, we've got a jam-packed curriculum, and this is the curriculum overview just for the autumn term. You can find all the other information, including this, on the website. So in English, we're going to be reading a novel called Gaslight. It's set in the Victorian times, and it really fits in with our history theme. During those lessons, we're going to be having a very deep focus on spelling, punctuation, and grammar, SPAG for short. We're also going to be looking at reading and comprehension, because those are key skills that the children are going to need, especially to complete their SATs. We're going to be writing a narrative, and also at the end of that unit, we're going to be writing a newspaper report. In maths, we're going to be looking at place value, addition and subtraction, multiplication and division, fractions and measures. And all these topics will take us all the way through till December. In geography, we're actually looking at population growth and density, migration, and why people migrate, and also pollution. In history, we're looking at the Victorians, the impact the Victorians had on us, children in the Victorian times, and also the children will be using evidence and sources of evidence to identify changes in the past.
Okay, and in science this half term, well, it's the full term actually, up to, like Mr. Patel said, December, your child will be learning about living things and their habitats, learning about classification, non-flowering plants, species that live in our local area, and also looking at classification keys. In RE, the children will be learning creation and science, so conflicting or complementary, exploring Genesis, links between Genesis and Christian belief about God as a creator. And in PE, we're very lucky to be having a rugby coach coming in from a local rugby club, doing some rugby training with our children. That will take place every week after this week until near enough the end of the term. And we'll also be looking at fundamental skills, so working on resilience and persistence really as part of that. In French, our topics will be My French House, learning vocabulary and sentences related to where we live.
Our computing curriculum has changed somewhat this year, so we are going to be talking about how the children can stay safe online, but we're also going to be starting a new unit called Communication and Collaboration. So the children are going to be exploring how we can use technology to communicate and collaborate with other people. In our art topic, we're going to be looking at street art, and the main focus is drawing. In PSHE, we're looking at mental health, physical health and well-being. And in DT, our textiles unit is about sewing. So they'll be producing a product in December using their sewing skills.
Okay, so the reading expectations in Year 6 haven't changed. So children are still expected to read at least 3 times a week, and it's very, very important that they do, because this obviously will help their reading skills, it'll help them in school, it'll help their writing, and also coming towards SATs, it'll help them in their SATs as well. So if the children could aim to get their diary signed at least 3 times a week, if you need support on how to get your children to read more at home, or strategies that you can use to help at home to support the learning in school, then please come and speak to one of the staff.
So homework is a key part of the curriculum as well. So we're going to be giving out reading. So we're expecting the children to read at least 3 times a week and get their diary signed, like we've just mentioned earlier. spending some time on times tables rock stars and really building up their speed at recalling the times tables. Spelling, we're going to give them a sheet with the spellings on, but also if they can spend some time, 30 minutes on Spelling Shed a week, that'll be brilliant. And we're also going to be giving out maths and English homework, which will help to cover some of the key skills and some of the basics. The homework will be given out on a Thursday and is expected back the following Wednesday.
Should you need any further information about anything that we've discussed today or any other information, we've got a brilliant website. So we've got, as you can see, the key information, so term dates, uniform, anywhere that you know, if you need support with anything, everything is on the website. So if you can just have a look at that if you need anything else.
Another really useful resource that we've got is our own school YouTube channel. So if you go to YouTube and search for Devonshire Road Primary School, you'll see that we've got quite a number of videos that are designed to help you as parents and carers, but also to help the children with their learning. Some of them are about keeping safe online, and some of them are just celebrating the wonderful work that goes on here at Devonshire Road.
Okay, so as every year we talk about how important attendance is. Attendance is vital. So being on time each day as well. So the doors open at 8:45, and that'll give your child an opportunity to have over an hour of extra learning every single week, rather than if they attended from 9. We do set an early morning task for the children from 8:45. So if that's usually consolidating learning that they've done the previous day or the previous week. So it's really, really helping them to build those skills. As you can see on the graph, it's clear there. So high attendance leads to an improved and high achievement, which means greater success. Whereas if you look down at below 90%, there's a lower chance of success and intervention will be required. And it just gives you some statistics at the bottom there with regards to how many days are missed and then how many lessons that is over the time.
So uniform at Devonshire Road, you're in year 6, so you'll know what uniform is. It's a white polo shirt, grey skirt for girls, grey trousers or shorts, grey pinafore or the blue gingham dress, smart shoes, and it's important that children come into school looking smart and feeling smart. If you're struggling with uniform, we're going to talk about that a little bit later in one of the next slides. For PE, the uniform is black shorts and a white t-shirt. Trainers, they can wear black hoodies or black jogging bottoms, obviously in the winter months or when we're going outside. Please ensure that all clothes have got the name labels in, because you can imagine if we have 400 white plain t-shirts, it's going to be very difficult to find who it belongs to if it gets lost.
So some jewellery is permitted as part of our uniform policy, but it needs to be simple and it mustn't impact on the health and safety of pupils at school. So the items listed below are acceptable for pupils to wear, but they must be removed for PE and swimming. So small stud earrings, so not hoops, and just small studs. Watches, so just a usual analog watch. Any adornment used for religious purposes, as you can see on the picture. Smartwatches, which have the capability to take photographs, receive and send messages, play games, or be used as a calculator, are not allowed in school. And if your child is seen with a smartwatch with any of these capabilities, they will be asked to hand it to a member of staff and it will be collected at the end of the day from the office. Step trackers, so like Fitbits, things like that, are permitted as long as none of the functions listed above or that I've just spoke about are available on it. If you do have any questions about the rules, about any jewellery, watches or anything that we've just spoken about, you can speak to a member of SLT. So as we discussed when we talked about uniform earlier, we have developed the uniform policy to make sure that we are upholding standards that we expect at Devonshire Road, whilst also being affordable and comfortable to wear. Now we do understand that sometimes times are hard for families, so for that reason we can confirm that any plain jumper or cardigan, as long as it's the colour that is used by Devonshire Road, so the royal blue, can be accepted. So it doesn't need to be the logoed cardigan or jumper, which is sometimes a little bit more expensive. So you can buy the plain ones without logos on, a little bit cheaper from supermarkets and places like that. We also use reuse and recycle. So we do swap shop events for parents and carers if you are struggling with buying uniform and things like that for your child. We do hold usually at certain times of the year, sometimes at parents' evening, and certain points of the year where we do a swap shop where you can come along and take what you need.
So reading volunteering is a fantastic opportunity to develop children's skills, and it's an excellent chance for you to engage with the wider school community. We've had lots of parents and carers volunteering to help with reading over the years, and it's an amazing opportunity. If you want to be a volunteer, please contact the school office and they'll be more than happy to help you so you can take part in this wonderful opportunity. Once again, thank you very much for your time, and we look forward to teaching our children in Year 6.